Connor Bedard will be reevaluated in January after being placed on injured reserve with an upper body injury. Surgery is not being considered at this time, but it means Bedard will be out until after the Olympic roster is finalized.
Connor Bedard was placed on injured reserve by the Chicago Blackhawks on December 16th after suffering a brutal shoulder injury in the final seconds of Friday night's game against St. Louis. The 20-year-old superstar, who leads his team with 44 points in just 31 games, went down hard during a last-second faceoff and immediately grabbed his right shoulder in visible pain. The injury happened with just 0.8 seconds left on the clock when Blue center Brayden Schenn tied up Bedard's stick during the draw. Bedard fell backward, clutched his shoulder, and skated straight to the locker room with the trainer. The Blackhawks announced he'll miss at least the rest of December and won't be reevaluated until January. This couldn't have come at a worse time for Bedard and the Blackhawks. The young center was absolutely on fire heading into that December 13th game, racking up 16 goals and 17 assists over his last 21 games. He ranks fourth in the entire NHL in scoring with those 44 points, trailing only Nathan MacKinnon, Macklin Celebrini, and Connor McDavid. His 19 goals put him on pace to hit 50 for the season, which would shatter his career high. Even more impressive, Bedard sits at +6 this year after being a brutal -80 over his first two NHL seasons combined. Head coach Jeff Blashill addressed the situation after practice, making it clear this was purely accidental. The injury actually occurred before Schenn's push, happening during Bedard's attempt to win the draw itself. Schenn defended the play after the game, explaining he was simply trying to win a crucial faceoff with less than a second remaining. There's no controversy here, no dirty play. Just terrible luck on a routine hockey play that went wrong. The Blackhawks felt Bedard's absence immediately in their next game on December 14th, getting shut out 4-0 by the Detroit Red Wings. Chicago now sits at 13-13-6 with 32 points, fifth in the Central Division, and they're about to embark on a challenging road trip through Eastern Canada without their best player. They face Toronto on December 17th, Montreal on December 19th, and Ottawa on December 21st. Blashill knows his team faces a massive challenge replacing Bedard's production. The coach emphasized that no single player can fill that void alone. The Blackhawks will need to tighten up defensively and focus on scoring grittier goals around the net. They won't be able to generate the same offense from distance that Bedard creates on a regular basis. Tyler Bertuzzi becomes even more crucial now. He's second on the team with 26 points and leads the entire NHL with 15 high-danger goals. Bertuzzi's net front presence and ability to clean up rebounds will be essential during Bedard's absence. Perhaps the most devastating aspect of this injury is the timing with the 2026 Winter Olympics. Team Canada must submit their final roster by December 31st, and Bedard won't play another game before that deadline. He was in a heated battle for one of the final forward spots on what might be the most talented Olympic roster ever assembled. Before the injury, Bedard had forced his way into serious consideration. His 44 points ranked him fourth among all NHL players and fourth among Canadian forwards, behind only MacKinnon, Mark Stone, and McDavid. Multiple hockey analysts had recently added him to their projected Olympic rosters. TSN's Craig Button and Mike Johnson included Bedard in their latest consensus projection just days before the injury. The 20-year-old was competing with San Jose's Macklin Celebrini and veteran stars like Mark Scheifele for those precious remaining roster spots. Team Canada general manager Doug Armstrong had been tracking Bedard closely throughout December. The young center's explosive offensive surge had grabbed everyone's attention across the hockey world. Now, with Bedard sidelined until at least January, the Olympic Selection Committee must decide whether to take a chance on a player they won't see compete for nearly a month before finalizing the roster. The Blackhawks have recalled 20-year-old Nick Lardis from Rockford to help fill the forward depth. Lardis made his NHL debut in that loss to Detroit, logging over 15 minutes of ice time. He brings offensive upside after posting 26 points in just 24 AHL games this season. Captain Nick Foligno could also return soon from his hand injury. which would provide some veteran leadership and experience during this difficult stretch. Chicago's success during Bedard's absence will depend on whether everyone can elevate their game. The team needs contributions from all four lines. They'll have to win games 2-1 or 3-2 rather than relying on Bedard's offense to outscore their defensive mistakes. Frank Nazar, Jason Dickinson, and the rest of the forward group understand they must step up collectively. Connor Bedard's shoulder injury represents a crushing blow to both the Blackhawks' playoff push and potentially his Olympic dreams. A player who was dominating the NHL at just 20 years old now faces weeks on the sideline during the most important stretch of the season. The injury happened on a freak play with less than 1 second left in a game Chicago had already lost. Sometimes hockey can be cruel like that. The Blackhawks will battle through December without their star, hoping he returns healthy in January, ready to pick up where he left off.